All right, let's go into the first one I see was from Greg Pippin. He says, hi, I plan to use OBS to broadcast a pre-recorded video as a live event. How far out should a live event be scheduled to be most effective? Can it be just a couple of days rather than a week? Also, is scheduling a live event for ranking purposes rather than just uploading a video still as effective as it was a few years ago? He says, I've watched your OBS usage video from 3 years ago. Thanks for that one. It is very clear and helpful. Yeah, it is still more effective to live stream. It's very similar to the difference in Facebook, right? If you upload a video to Facebook, it still gets more engagement than a text-based post or even an image-based post. It gets more exposure, but it was preferred specifically if you don't have an external link in it, right? But also if you do a live stream, that tends to get even more exposure. And I think it's the exact same way with YouTube. If you upload a video, even if you live, I mean, you could, but remember, you can schedule a live event with YouTube and then upload the video as a live event. Like, so pre-record, you can stream a pre-recorded video as a live event. So you can still do that without it actually having to be a real live, like live recording, like video recording as you're doing it, if that makes sense. But it does, it gets more, it gets better push. Think about this. If you're subscribed to the Semantic Mastery channel, which by the way, you should be. And if you're not, make sure you hit the subscribe button. You get notification via Gmail when it's going live, right? And so it's the same thing. You'll get some traffic that will come through to it. And remember, engagement signals are one of the primary ranking factors for YouTube videos, both in YouTube as well as Google. And so getting, you know, if there's anybody subscribed to the channel, they're going to get notified and maybe a few clicks will come through for people to actually engage with the video. Now, if it's for like a, you know, a lead generation video or something like that, where there's not really any real subscribers, then you probably won't get any engagement from that, but it still triggers something in the algorithm, right? That it gets a little bit more push. It's weighted heavier, if that makes sense, by both YouTube and Google. So yes, live streaming is still more powerful than just uploading. And I don't think that's going to change. That said, if the sooner that you schedule a live event, the better. And what I mean by that is the further out that you have it scheduled, the better, especially if you're using stuff like syndication networks, which once again, you should be, because it gives the posts where that embed code is syndicated to or published to, it gives those posts more time to get crawled by Google, if that makes sense. So, you know, the earlier, the better. The sooner that you can schedule it, the further out from when you actually live stream it, the better. Also, one of the things that you can do is build links to the places where the embeds are. That's a very, very powerful strategy to help give it even more power and help it to rank better when you do live stream it, because pointing links at the pages that it's embedded on is a great way to get additional, like to push extra juice into it. And it's almost like building anticipation, like SEO anticipation for that, so that when it goes live, it'll rank a lot better, a lot faster. So I would recommend that you get it scheduled as soon as possible, push it through syndication networks that you have connected to your channel. You can always buy an embed package from MGYB and take that embed code that you get when you schedule the live stream and submit that and have it pushed out across an embed network. Also, you could do link building to your syndication network properties and also order link building from MGYB to the embeds. If you buy an embed gig, you can order link building to the embeds. And that's a very, very powerful way. Now, remember, those are all specifically SEO signals. So the last thing I would recommend is if you're really trying to rank it, remember, I talk about this all the time, and we're going to be covering this in part in the Google Ads training that I was talking about doing at the beginning of this webinar, is to set up some Google ads, some YouTube ads specifically to that video. And you can schedule your ad campaign, right? So in other words, you can go in and actually set up an ad campaign to start pointing or buying views directly from Google, right, through the Google Ads platform to your video when it goes live. So when it's actually published. And that's something that I would recommend that you do. And by the way, with YouTube now, you can set up campaigns with either a daily budget or an overall campaign budget, which means you could take $20 and create a campaign with just $20, for example, that will start the campaign start day and time will be at the day and time that you plan on streaming your video, right? And what happens is that video, you know, when the ad will start running, and it'll just run until that $20 is spent, and that way you don't have to go in and edit edit the campaign or turn it off after a certain amount of time if that's something you want to do. If you do that between the SEO tactics we just talked about, which is syndicating the embed code, doing an additional embed blast, doing link building to the embeds, and then also buy some initial traffic so that when it does stream, it gets real live, valid engagement, right? Views from people from Google users, because you're buying views directly from Google. Those are all real views, not spam views. It's not spam bots. It's not fake, share groups and any of that shit. It's real people that you're buying from Google. You should rank. It's not, it's a very, very powerful strategy. So that's what I would recommend you do. Anybody want to comment on that?
I mean, the last time we tried it was when we were doing, what did we go after? I forget. But it was, somebody was doing a release of some software, and press releases worked really well. When you set those up, and you get them like towards when it's supposed to happen, because it's newsworthy, right? What are press releases for? It's for something that's newsworthy. So if you announce that it's going to happen, that it's coming soon, and that it's happening, so you have 3 press releases, and you silo them and you set them up the way that we teach PR stacking, then that's going to create a major push by the time that 3rd one comes out, because it's going to push everything forward. We had great success when the last time we did that, and I don't see why it would be any different now. It could be even better since they're working so much better.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Marco. I appreciate you mentioning that, because I wasn't even thinking about that. Because, for example, if you order a press release through MGYB, which gets pushed out across the Press Advantage network, you can, if you take the URL of the live stream, the YouTube URL, and you put it on its own line in the press release, or if you order it from us, like if you have your own subscription, you can do it through yourself, or if you order it from us, just put it in the instructions when you order, and we can add the video URL on its own line, which will become an embed on many of the places that it gets sent published on. Not all of them, but many of them. So that will become another embed that's in a press release, and you can schedule the press release to be published around that time. And like Marco said, you could even do a like an announcement type press release that is announcing that the video is going to go live at this time, this day and time. Then you can do one that actually publishes around the time that it actually goes live, which is very, very powerful. And then you can always do a follow-up one afterwards. And again, you can silo those together. And that actually kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, because you get backlinks and you get embeds on, high domain authority type and, authoritative type. I don't care about domain authority, but authoritative type media sites. You get a lot of embeds because it goes across a pretty big publishing network or press wire network. And then you also get, a lot of these press releases actually get real traffic. And I know that because if I look in analytics, I use a lot of press releases. And if I look in analytics, I see that I get a lot of referral traffic and referral traffic even from the Press Advantage website itself, which is really, really good. So that kind of kills plus backlinks as well, because in some cases where it won't actually embed, it'll still show the URL, which will count as a backlink. So again, very, very powerful strategy. So thank you for that, Marco. But yeah, that's a really good strategy, guys. You can still crush it with YouTube SEO if you do it properly. I think engagement signals are super powerful for that though. And anything you do with SEO, you can kind of amplify that, right? Multiply it by just buying some engagement signals. Like I said, even $20 is enough to usually significantly move the needle.